welcome, welcome to. I love that little woo. And it was occurring to me that today would be a wonderful time to look at in Zen philosophy and in some forms of meditation. The instruction is to come back to one. The phrase back to one is very well known. And what that's really about, in my opinion, is a recommitting, just a recommitting to the practice, a recommitting to presence. And it occurred to me that particularly loop of awareness is a way to recommit. That if I get caught in how I'm using my attention, when I use loop of awareness, it begins to foster circulation, circulation of my attention. And then from that, I get more skill in choosing where I'm putting my attention. And since we're on the first day of the year, I also think of attention as a major nutrient for human beings. And we forget that attention, our giving and receiving of attention, is as important and as valuable as food and water. So I just want you to take a moment and give yourself some. I'm just thinking too of the breath, just giving yourself a wash of welcoming into this new year and letting yourself do that however you want to. If you want to do that with movement, if you want to do that with sound. But we had some high tides here in Southern California, and we had some really big waves coming in, and it's the kind of washing of things that was a little vigorous. But if you think of a friendly wave washing over you and just refreshing you with attention, and then you can let that drip, or you can let it spray, or you can ripple it out. Yes. And then letting your attention just move out into celebrating the world that's right around you. So giving the nutrient of your attention to appreciating the world that's right around you, close in or as far out as you can see. And then notice how that affects your sense of circulation in your own body. Can you then bring attention back to you? You can spritz it. So we usually think of attention as kind of a linear, I'm paying attention to you and then I'm paying attention to me. But what if it could be a regard and opening of all of the windows of perception for you, including your feeling, touch, sensing, hearing, that you're letting that circulate. And so bringing it back to you now and feeling, how would you like to receive attention right now? And we usually kind of wish that other people would give that to us, but we don't really even quite know what we want. But if we just hang out long enough, maybe they'll know, maybe they'll read our minds, and maybe we'll get a little bit of attention. But what if you could just let yourself order up the kind of attention that you want? And first of all, give it to you. What's the quality of attention? So do you want it to be huggy, or vigorous, or do you want it to be gentle and easy? And touch always lets you know, here I am. But there may be other ways that you're wanting to use your body. You can feel it swirling around you. You could hear the kind of attention. You could hear the kinds of words or sounds that would make you feel welcome. Like, I like to imagine that somebody's whispering in my ear, "Oh, you are so magnificent. Oh, look at you and look how you're becoming." And I get kind of, oh, yeah, somebody notices. So noticing yourself first and being willing to give yourself that kind of attention. And then letting your attention go out even further than where you can see. I'd like you to gather up your loving attention, and I'd like you to send it to somebody in your life who is living or no longer with us, that you would like to just land a big of loving attention. Could be appreciation. It could be dealing with some feelings that are going on for them. I personally know about 7 or 8 people who have COVID. And so I'm sending loving ease and open nose and open throat to them as they're recovering. And then letting attention come back to you. And I'm noticing again that I tend to favor, and I imagine you tend to favor the front of you. You tend to favor the front of your body. So the back of my body was just going, excuse me, but I'm here too. I hold you up. I back you up. How about some attention for me? So I'm going to let some attention just swirl down my back. So we're kind of incorporating love scoops and loop of awareness here. And I find if I involve my body, that it really opens the channels for love and attention. So if I'm just thinking about it, I'm only going to get a little dribble of attention. But if I let my body participate, however my body wants to participate, I experience so much more of it moving in me. And I also want to invite you to look around for at what other people on the call are doing. And if you see something that's, oh, that looks like fun, go ahead and try it on. That's part of the joy of meeting together, is that we can share ways of giving and receiving attention. And you can try on some new things that you go, oh, I haven't tried that before. Ooh, I think I'm going to try that one on. So I love to also combine other of the fear melters. So I like to do wiggling love scoops, or oozing love scoops, and then sending that attention out like I'm throwing a bucket of water out and letting that spread out all over. So letting yourself play with different ways of bringing it in and letting yourself just be thoroughly surrounded by loving attention, and let your body tell you where else. So now my body is saying, lower legs and feet, please, feet, please. And so I realized that I'd been moving all of my body, but my feet hadn't been moving my feet, which is unusual for me because I usually move my feet first. So I'm letting my feet participate, and they're so happy. And I can actually sense the happiness of my feet being able to participate is adding to the quality of loving attention that I can give myself. So part of what I want to invite you into in this new year is valuing your whole body wisdom, valuing your body, valuing your feelings, having regard for what you're experiencing inside and how that can inform your thinking. So body first is one of the themes for me for this year. And when you're giving attention, I'd like you to also notice that the power of your breath is so valuable. So first of all, don't let yourself breathe very much, and then let yourself try to give attention out. So for me, it's like kind of deflating a balloon. If I don't add my breathing to it, yeah, the energy doesn't really flow. But if I add my breath, really just adding a full in breath and a full out breath, and then letting that do I like to let my attention go out more with the out breath or more with the in breath? So that can also refresh your nervous system so that you're playing with your patterns of breathing, letting your breathing support the shifting of your attention. And since we're moving into another year where everything is unknown and all kinds of unexpected things happen every day, I'd like you to just try on, how can I be with the unexpected? So most of us, I think, brace ourselves like, okay, we kind of go into a freeze and maybe a little fight in the fear zone. And what I'm feeling here is if I use rooting and let myself feel the earth really supporting me, then my body takes on much more of a kind of fluidity that I'm supported. I'm feeling the energy of the earth moving up through my feet, up through my legs. And then that allows me to be ready to meet whatever unexpected is going on. So letting yourself play with, now notice that you can make it little too and still really powerful. So letting your attention shift outward and letting your energy shift outward and celebrating and welcoming, and then letting it shift inward, and then letting that get more and more subtle so that you're still involving your body, but you could be anywhere around all kinds of people and not freak them out. Of course, that's kind of part of the pleasure for me. I like to kind of freak people out just with whatever I'm spontaneously wanting to do. So, but if you're still a little bit shy about letting yourself be spontaneous in public, you can also do this really subtly. So, letting yourself notice, like I do this all the time when I'm at the store. I notice the people who are around me and I just send them a little bit of welcoming energy as I'm moving around the vegetables. And I always go on the outsides of the stores. I never go into the middle. So if people ask me, where are things? I don't know, because I always get the produce and go around the outside. And I never go, for example, down the cereal aisle where there are like 47,000 kinds of cereal, because I don't eat that. So if you're letting yourself just play with giving attention to you, and then take a moment to notice, do you let it land? So I think so many of us have a kind of a bounce off. We go, okay, yeah, giving and receiving attention. Okay, great. Now, next, and treat it as a kind of an exercise rather than a source of nutrition, a source of feeling at home, presencing yourself. So your giving and receiving are both valuable, but letting it land is something I think we forget. So when you're bringing attention to you, how is it landing? Is it soaking in? Is it sort of running down you and then landing around your feet? How is your attention interacting with your body? I find if I give even just a little bit of movement and breath, when I'm giving attention to me, I absorb better. So try that out and just see how that works for you. And then also for me, when I'm giving attention out, I notice that if I give attention out more leisurely, rather than boom, here it is, that it has a chance to really meet the other person and kind of tickle them and get in, rather than, my energy has been known to kind of blow people out. So I let mine come with just a little bit of softness around it and breath. And I notice that it now, as I'm going out in the world, people are actually turning toward me. So there's something that their body knows, that they can receive presence from being around me. And so what if that was part of your big job this year, is to be a lighthouse, to be a circulating of giving and receiving all of this loving attention. And of course, then first starting with you and ending with you. So let yourself gather up all of the love and regard and presence that you've been experiencing and give it to any other place in you that's wanting just a little bit more. One of the things that I really enjoy when I'm touching me is that I can feel my vibration of my voice. And so, one thing you may want to add to all of this is just the because the opens up your wonder brain, allows the circulation to soak in more, and it makes your giving and receiving of attention really powerful. So thank you for joining me, and I want to share with you Presence Connect Play. And before I do that, I want to let you know that starting next week, instead of Presence Connect Play, I'm going to be offering one of our integrity cards from the integrity deck, because we have videos now for every one of the cards. And so we'll be sharing a card, and then you could use that card throughout the week as a kind of a orienting, a grounding, like where are you coming back to one with a particular practice. And by the end of the year, you will have experienced all of the integrity cards and how you might use those. And so I thought, I want a world that is based on celebrating wholeness. I want to live in a world where everybody gets to create and sustain and repair and renew their own wholeness, which is the actual meaning of integrity. And rather than orienting ourselves to trying to fit in or trying to change all of these structures that are not working, I'm committing to generating and creating and integrating a new infrastructure. And the integrity cards are a wonderful way to do that. So that's what I want to do with you starting next week, just giving you a preview since you're here today. And for today, let's see what our Presence Connect play is. Okay. I love this. We're all generating this. I want you to know I'm pushing the button, but we're all generating this. So presence is notice and follow what your body wants to do most. So just go ahead and do that right now. And I invite you to let yourself do that periodically through the day. It's like touching into your body and say, well, what do you want to do right now? Rather than we treat our body so functionally, like, okay, it's time to get this done, and now it's time for it, and now take the trash out. But what if you could just ask your body, what do you most want to do right now? And then Connect says, listen appreciatively. So how I think of, there are many definitions of appreciation, and we have a whole page of appreciation on our foundation website. But one that I'd like to invite you into is to give your sensitive awareness, like your, what's going on? When you come in and you can see something is going on, but you don't know quite what it is. And you have that kind of, kind of being with. And that for me is the heart of listening appreciatively, is I'm giving my sensitive awareness, but also my attention to, what's actually going on here. And when I do that, I don't have to analyze or interpret or fix. My presence then joins with the other person's presence to open up more of them being able to be with themselves. So that's Connect. Now, I use these together, Presence, Connect, Play, but there may be one that you want to specialize in, like, I don't really let my body do what it wants to do ever. I control it and and judge it. And so that might be one you want to focus on this week. But when you put the three of them together, they're very powerful. All right. And play is match and make bigger. So notice something that's going on in you, or something you're noticing around in you, and let your body match that for a moment. So that could be one of the ways we ask people to do that, is let yourself paint or sculpture what you're experiencing. So making a painting or letting yourself make a sculpture of what you're experiencing. And that way of actively expressing what's going on inside creates an additional amount of flow and circulation of energy that gives you more aliveness. So matching, and then when you're matching, do what you're doing more. So when you're matching, make that bigger, and then you can see where that wants to go, and it can turn into a whole body dance, bodifying, but expanding your ability to express. So rather than narrowing our ability to express, which we experience a lot through our devices, this allows you to expand your expression and your enjoyment of being alive, because after all, that's the first priority, is to be here and to enjoy being here and to enjoy your expanding aliveness. Oh, I love how you're letting yourself play with that. That's so lovely. All right. Well, thank you for being with me on the first day of the year. So lovely to see all of your faces. And whatever time it is where you are, I think it's probably still the first day of the year, unless you're coming in from Japan, and then you already did the first day of the year. So what's the second day going to be like? So thank you. And I'm going to take leave of you right now. And please stay and have big talk. And Jody, I'm going to just take a moment and just send you lots of Jody's has COVID and recovering. So let's just gather up some luscious softness, opening of lungs and nose, and send that off to Jody, who's such a good receiver. Oh yeah, I can see you pinking up. That's lovely. All right, super. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye now.